Hey Hills Baptist family, my name's Ben. We probably haven't met in person yet, you might have seen me on the stream, but I'm here with a couple of legends and we just want to introduce ourselves and speak a bit about what God's been prompting us to talk to you guys about.
Yeah, hey guys, my name's Brenton. I've been at Hills Allgate for a couple of years now and been involved with the youth group with some awesome leaders. Have a young family, 3 kids and a wonderful wife, Libby.
And I'm Joel. I've been part of the Verdun campus since it began, Littlehampton and Verdun, but been heading up the youth there for a couple of years and just been super excited about what God's doing in the youth ministry. And obviously with Ben coming on board, there's some great and wonderful things happening and God's moving throughout this ministry. So we've come together as 3 of us, the legends and the young buck, to chat about...
I'm the young buck.
Yeah, to chat a bit more about exactly that, what God's placed on our heart and what we believe He's leading us into for the next chapter of the youth ministry at Hills.
And I guess for me, stepping in as the youth pastor, and Dave and Mark really came to me about this and speaking with Brenton and speaking with Joel and really praying into this idea of coming together as Surge and Ahoy youth groups and really resourcing that to become Hills Youth has really been stirring in our hearts, and we brought it to the elders a couple of weeks ago and they really affirmed it for us. So I'd love to hear from you, Brenton and Jolie, what God's been saying to you guys and the potential of what God has in this.
It's amazing. Over the last couple of years, we've sort of discussed the option of bringing the youth groups together. And it's amazing during that time seeing the growth in our youth groups, not just in number, but the growth of the leaders, the growth in maturity. And we feel really blessed to have Ben on board and to have that resource to drive, this good news of hope and joy to our youth and our young people in the Adelaide Hills. And so we started this conversation of do we bring it together? Is now the time? And for me, it made a lot of sense. I feel like our heart is the same heart. We're the same church. Yeah. We meet together doing the same thing. And probably in the past, it's been geography with, Littlehampton versus Allgate and that tyranny of distance, that massive 15 minutes down the road. But being Verdun, it's literally 3 kilometres away. It makes sense for us to get together in my mind.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, the conversation come up and I must admit I was a little bit more apprehensive about coming together, and I think that's partly because we like to feel like that we've built something, we belong to something, and it's hard to let go of that. But the more I prayed about it and the more I read into it in God's word, the more I was convicted and challenged that it's a ministry not about me, it's not about Ben or Brenton, but it's a ministry about sharing the gospel and the hope throughout the Adelaide Hills with the youth. And so I'm 100% for it. I've been praying about it. We've got so much depth in our leadership team, which we'll speak about in a moment. But, we've got people that are married with kids that are about to come to youth group. We've got people that are married or about to have kids, may have even had kids by the time you see this. Yeah. We've got people that are newly married, not married, uni students, and it's very rare for a leadership team of a youth group to have that much depth, spiritual depth and life depth within a youth group. And I feel that God's been working on this plan for quite a while, and it's just starting to come together, which is very exciting.
It's amazing when you think that we've got 20 leaders. By the time you bring all the leaders together with amazing breadth of experience and ages, and if we bring the 2 groups together, we might have 60 to 70 youth rocking up. So a 1 in 3 ratio is phenomenal. Yeah. And I guess we've discussed, haven't we, our concern around not wanting to go from being a small group where you actually can see who's on the outer, who's not engaging, is anyone feeling anxious or worried. We're really keen not to lose that ultimately.
And I think For me, my heart is just to see young people in the Adelaide Hills come to know Christ. And I'm super keen to get around the chaplains in the local area and get into schools. And for us, I think resourcing this together, it makes worship, camps, big night activities, events so much more possible. But we never want to lose sight of that closeness, that connection, that doesn't matter how big we are, we always want to be small, always want to see the one, and we're going to put specific structures in place that we can have small groups, have specific leaders looking out for your youth, so no young person isn't connected. See those groups as quite a special dynamic because we're going to have some Allgate and Verdun leaders for each of those groups, and we're really excited about the youth getting to know each other, and some of them already go to the same schools. So we think that it will only be a few weeks before the youth are actually become one. And we know us as the leaders, we really set that culture.
And going on from that, we understand and respect that not all kids are the same. So, not all kids are sporty, not all kids are, like video games, and not all kids like reading books. But we want to endeavour the best we can to cater for all types. And we believe we can do that. And through doing that, we can mentor and speak words of truth into the youth as well.
One other thing we haven't mentioned that you're probably asking is, where will youth be? And this is something that we haven't taken lightly, and we've spoken to Dave and Mark about this, as well as the three of us praying into it. And we acknowledge that there's a real sense of identity both at the gym for Verdun and, here at Allgate for the Ahoy youth as well. And, I guess the decision was made between the three of us and the leadership team at Hills about meeting in the gym. We just see that as a space that we can really resource for the future. We can use the classrooms for small groups. We have a big inside space where we can do big events, big activities, and have a real space to hang out, enjoy each other's company. And we thank you for listening, for watching. And if you just have any queries about these things, feel free to give Brenton, myself, or Jolie a call. And we just really appreciate your support as the families of our church.
Yeah, to finish off, I just really want to encourage you that we have sat on this, we've prayed about it, we've sat on it, we've prayed about it, we've asked questions, we've been to our pastors, we've been to the elders, and we really believe in our hearts that this is something that God's had in his plan. As we know, God knows all things, but it's been a part of his plan for quite a while, and it's just something so beautiful to be part of, to see it come together. And we're really looking forward to what God has in the future for Hills Youth. But we just would love your prayers, love your encouragement through this time. So thanks for listening. God bless.